young achieving that thing. Control legislate the Panchi America. Banyi dual ban control legislate the Panchi America. Banyi dual ban wo kojile kankaro watana watching. Koga level leg gear kwa ugare leg. Panda wadiya Panchi America. Banyi dual ban chingitongo pandon kujwera baya cheka. Pagu panda juru wadiya bi dual. Panchi America, Banyi Dual, Pancha Legislation.
Just 3 days in the office. Some of you doesn't know me, and some of my colleagues. So I'm thanking our president, our vice president, give me this opportunity to present. The security situation normally in the country for the last 3 days I've been in the office is calm, with just some reports of reported some report of cattle rustling, some states, some criminal cases, which some of them are minors. No any ambushes wherever between is along the main road to Numuli, and here there's no report of ambushes. But the guy killing and cattle raiding are the most recorded cases in these 3 days. Jungle and Warab, Tumbura recorded some cases. One of Tumbura was this morning at 8 or 9, where 2 innocent civilians lost their life. And in Warab was yesterday, Majallo. In Jungle was 3 days or 2 days back. Those are the cases we receive from the states. Juba is normal. It just received some cases of suicide. Juba is leading in suicide cases. Up to today, we received 3. Yesterday 2, today 1. The other state, there's no report of suicide. Only 1 in a will, where a prisoner hung himself in the cell. Those are the only cases reported to us. Christmas approaching, and it is a challenge, especially to me, who is a new minister in office. It's a big challenge, but I'm trying with my colleague in the organized forces to prepare ourselves so that we overcome all those challenges of Christmas. We will try to coordinate with the state also to look into their some problems so that we help them on how to prepare themselves to face challenges of Christmas. We are also planning for elimination of these niggers. It's one of our priorities. Second priority also is unknown gunman, especially in Juba here. In the state, The other state, I think there are no part of non-government, maybe here and there. Your Excellency, I will be brief since I haven't been in the office for quite a long time, but I will share with my colleagues, the governors of the states. We are developing a document within these days so that we come and share with you in this workshop or in this forum, and you can to give you a chance also to come in with your input, because security is a collective responsibility. So you and me and the organized forces, we need to come out with something which can help us out of this situation we are in. The issue of civilians who are carrying unauthorized guns, I'm a witness of those issues. But my recommendation is only to eliminate guns from the civilian. We have to disarm them, we destroy them or we sort them, and then it will give us a chance as a law enforcement agencies to deliver service to civilians. But with the huge number of guns being carried by civilians, police cannot do anything, because they are armed more than police. They are armed even more than the army in the states. If you wanted to travel from county to county in those days, and you don't have machine guns, you cannot make it as a governor even, unless you have machine guns. But if you are carrying this Kalashnikov, they will overcome you. But we need to come out with modality of how to approach them and to disarm them. Your Excellency, I will stop here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that the security in Juba town is a little secure, so I'm ready now to see about outside because there's too much heat inside. Thank you very much for that. A few things, the gang street, the gang on the street, which they call themselves the name I don't like, niggas or Toronto. I don't know what we have to do with the Toronto for our kids here on the street. A few scratches, Warab, Jungle, and Tumbra. I think South Sudanese are learning to be good people. So let us pray for that. Without ado, I think we will go for the next presentation by Minister of Health, and then from there we will go for the questions and answers. Honorable Elizabeth Achai, if you are around, please, the podium is yours.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Dr. Riek Machar, the first Vice President of Republic of South Sudan, Excellencies, Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable National Ministers, Honorable Governors, Honorable Member of Parliament, UN Representative, the Media House, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, the first Vice President, allow me to brief you on the health and COVID-19 pandemic, a threat to life and social economic in South Sudan. Your Excellency, before I go ahead, I would like to ask the permission from you, because this presentation, we were supposed to do it on PowerPoint, but unfortunately, we were told that in this building here, there is no PowerPoint facilities. And therefore, because it's the bulk of a briefing, I would like to call one of my technical team to summarize for us in order to beat the time, if it's okay for you. Okay. Me, I have Dr. Kidila, if you are around, please, can you come over? And also there is some, this work here, there is a letter there you can contribute, what they call distribute to the ministers and first vice president. Okay, you are doing already. And take over.
Your Excellency, the First Vice President, Excellencies, the Vice Presidents, President Chair, Honorable Governors and Honorable National Ministers, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ministry of Health and my minister request, I'm here to briefly take you through an overview of the health situation in the country, as well as COVID-19 pandemic as a threat to life and a socio-economic challenge in South Sudan. Your Excellency, we understand that good health and development are fundamentally connected, as better health is a precondition for development as well as an outcome of sustainable development. Health is essential for achieving all the social, commercial, and environmental pillars of development, thus contributes to development and benefits from development, and therefore can be used as a measure for development. It is unfortunate, Your Excellency, to admit that in South Sudan, the government allocation for health has been constantly less than 2% over the last few years. And consequently, out-of-pocket expenditure on health has been high. Our estimate stands at 54% of the total expenditure, which indeed contributes to more poverty and also resulted in the major challenges facing the health sector. It is indeed known that there is inadequate health infrastructure and health facility density in South Sudan is 1.4 per 10,000 population. That means the access to health services is very low, and our estimates say that less than 44% of the population live within 5 kilometers of a health facility, which also contributes in a way to poor service utilization. And that means when we look at the outpatient, it's 0.5 visits per person per year. Acute shortage in the numbers of health workers across the country is a major challenge. We currently have a workforce density of 7.6 per 10,000 population compared to the WHO recommendation of 44.5 per 10,000 population. As a result of inadequate production, absorption, and retention of the health staff, Your Excellency, we have been, over the years, struggling with a very weak health system, and as a result of conflict in the country, the capacity of the health system to deliver the basic and essential health services is very much minimal, and as a result, the maternal mortality rate in South Sudan has been very high and is among the highest rates in the world, although as a country we have succeeded to bring it down from 2,050 per 100 live births to around 789 to 1,150 per 100,000 live births. To us, is still an achievement. It is a progress in the right direction. We also have very high under 5 mortality, and Your Excellency, our children, 1 in every 10 dies before the 5th birthday, which is sad enough. We also have very high infant mortality rate of 64 per 1,000 live births. Neonatal mortality stands at around 40 per 1,000 live births. Your Excellency, the burden of communicable diseases in our country is very high. We remain 100% at risk of malaria. And unfortunately, malaria is still not seen to be the #1 enemy for this country. And indeed, it is the #1 enemy. All of us are liable to get malaria, and as a result, most of our investment and our loss in terms of economy is a result of malaria. Most of our people who go to the hospitals in the outpatient are 64% because of malaria. Those who die in the outpatient are mostly because of malaria. The students who do not come to school is mostly because of malaria. Those teachers and those workers who fail to report to their work is mostly because of malaria. We also know that as a country, this community, the burden of these communicable diseases will remain high simply because only 41% of our population have access to safe drinking water, and only 11% has access to adequate sanitation facilities. And in our country, we have 17 endemic diseases that are neglected out of the 20 WHO neglected tropical diseases. And these ones include, Your Excellency, Guinea worm, leprosy, which is still disabling our people. The non-communicable diseases are on the rise. We all know that hypertension and diabetes are leading, especially in the urban areas. We also, of reason, have the estimate that the mental health disorders are also on the rise, and definitely it is in line with the expectation in a humanitarian setting, which shows that 1 in every 5 is likely to develop a mental disorder. On the side of COVID-19, Your Excellency, we know that our first case of COVID-19 was discovered in April 2020, and as of today, we have recorded over 12,500 cases with over 133 deaths so far. We believe the actual figures could be higher than this, simply because we do not have adequate funding to have a full-scale interventions for COVID-19 in this country. We also know that this disease, despite the fact that it is deadly, we have been always supported by the leadership of the country, and I want to admit, Your Excellency, the only single disease the government of this country has very much funded until now is COVID-19. Still, the resources that are made available need to be adequately and sustainably sent to the right interventions. The Ministry of Health and the partners, Your Excellency, have managed to improve the testing capacity at the national level through our public health laboratory and also through the private laboratories. We have also decentralized the public testing facilities in the country. We have so far been seeing that our epidemic is driven by the travelers, simply because most of those who go for testing are those who would like to travel, and mostly in Juba. We have known that the world has managed to rapidly develop the vaccine, and as a member of the international community, we have benefited from the COVAX facility, and I want to inform the participants that as a country, we have managed to receive around 180,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine. We have also recently received 152,950 doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It is important to take note that the vaccination has already been rolled out across the country in 250 health facilities in all the 80 counties of the country. The Ministry of Health is so far able to vaccinate or to fully vaccinate only 116,000 people, which is less than 1%. It is actually exactly 0.8% of the total population. We are therefore calling upon our governors and all the stakeholders to join hands in encouraging our people to vaccinate. The Ministry of Health is working harder with the partners to increase and get more people vaccinated, and we are also expecting within this month to receive more Johnson & Johnson vaccines. It is important to take note that Johnson & Johnson vaccine requires you to take only one shot, while AstraZeneca requires 2 shots. In terms of other health emergencies, Your Excellency, the Ministry of Health has been able to respond to the current emergency situation caused by flooding. However, we have also recorded a number of emergency cases that are being responded to across the country. We are currently responding to acute transmission of hepatitis E in the country, and especially in Bantu. IDPs camp since early 2019 it has been continuing. We are also responding to an increased incidence of acute watery diarrhea, which has just been reported in PG County. We are also, Your Excellency, maintaining our emergency response alert, and therefore, with the capacity that the country has installed, which is the Emergency Operations Center at our public health laboratory, we are better placed and better prepared at the moment to respond more rapidly to the emergencies should the required resources be available. Your Excellency, the major challenges that are faced or that are being faced by the health sector are in particular related to the human resource for health, which are still inadequate. We have been going through series of threats of strike by the health workers across the country due to low and delayed payment, but more importantly, the COVID-19 response risk allowances. We also know that the issue of retention of health workers across the country, Your Excellency, is the responsibility of all the stakeholders at the national as well as the state level. I would want to mention here in particular the issues around accommodation and security of the health workers when they are deployed to the states. It's a responsibility of the states, and our honorable governors are here. The Ministry of Health remains responsible to recruit, deploy, and train the health workers across the country. We, in response to that, are committed and we will be available to have follow-up discussions with the honorable governors during the days to find better mechanisms of how we can support retention of the health workers once they are deployed to the states. Your Excellency, lack of emergency funds support the the rapid response and in terms of investigation and deploying the rapid response teams remains a limitation to the Ministry of Health. And with COVID-19, the country faces the challenge of poor funding to the basic interventions, and therefore we still see that the follow or adherence to the COVID-19 preventive measures remains very poor among our public. The turnout for the vaccination also remains very low. Our appeal as Minister of Health to the governors and chief administrators is if they could, of course, or indeed support and advocate for increased domestic funding towards health. We also want to say that scaling up health services at the state level, county level, and in the communities using the Boma Health Initiative would be the best approach should we be able to support the interventions. Your Excellency, we know that in terms of health sector, the coordination and oversight as well as accountability remains very important. We want to appreciate and thank our partners that have been constantly supporting the health of the people of South Sudan, but we also appeal that the support of the partners aligns to the country's priorities in line with the principles of aid effectiveness. It is indeed important to ensure that we have mutual accountability. We have already spoken about the incidents that have occurred with our partners in a number of states and counties, which are also a reflection of some of the issues that are related to oversight and coordination and leadership that needs to be provided. Your Excellency, I would also want to appeal to our governors in regards to the health transfers. As national ministry, we have within our national budget, nearly 80% is all about transfers to the service delivery units that are in the states and the counties. It has been a challenge for us to ensure those transfers are indeed reaching the service delivery units. We also want to continue to remind ourselves about the role the leadership needs to play, and as a result, to continue to encourage our public to adhere to the public health prevention measures. In conclusion, Your Excellency, it is important for us to recognize that vaccination gives good protection against the severe form of the COVID-19 disease, and people who are fully vaccinated are better placed, to survive the deadly disease should they get infected. It is important to admit that they could still get infected, they could still be carriers, and they could still transmit the disease to the unvaccinated person who will be more at risk of the COVID-19. It is also important for us as health sector as a whole to thank the leadership of the government of this country for making it possible to increase or at least to decide on increasing the allocation to the health sector from 2% to 10%. And I would want to appreciate here the leadership of the country and the leadership of the cluster in the person of His Excellency Hussein Abdul Call for the consistent engagement on this. Finally, Your Excellency, Honorable Governors, South Sudan Development Agenda needs to prioritize health because healthy populations will live longer and become more productive, save more, and therefore will develop their country more. Thank you very much, and I stop here. Will be available for any questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Victor. We really appreciate it, giving us all the information. I'm not going to go through all what he has said. There's a lot that he has said on challenges, and some of the things I picked up is really the weak institutions, the challenge to us in our health sector, delay and low wages of the health workers are the big challenge. And also infrastructure is also a challenge to us. He also advised that COVID-19, we should all be vaccinated. So if you have not yet taken yours, before you go back to the state, the governors, you are asked to do that. I will open the floor for questions for the three presentations that were given to us. We will give them the mic. Any help? We are opening the floor. If you have any query, any questions towards the three presentations, will be great. Or comment, concern.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كيل شانول ولاية شمال بحر خزان وزير الحكومة المحلي. سؤالي الأول لوزير الدفاع. أنا دارين أعرف بخصوص ترتيبات العملية. هل في مدة زمنية انتوا حددتوا لتخريج هذا القوات؟ السؤال الثاني لوزير الداخلية. في ولايات مشاكل عديدة خاصة وسائل تلقى في كل المقاطعات ما في أي عربية. هل الوزارة ما ممكن يوفر عربات للولايات عشان نحقق الأمن في الولاية؟ لابد يكون في وسائل نقل خاصة عربات لقوات الشرطة. السؤال الثالث لوزير الدفاع. معظم الولايات في مشاكل خاصة الأكسجين. يعني بتلقى في كل ولاية تلقى في مركز واحد للأكسجين. بعد أحيانا لما نجيب المريض
Thank you, Your Excellency, the first Vice President, the Vice Presidents, the Governors present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Moro Isaac Genesio, the State Minister for Local Government and Law Enforcement of Central Equatoria State. My question and comment at the same time is directed to the Minister of Interior. From his presentation, he captured a very few things as far as the overview of the security situation is concerned. In the state of Central Equatoria, especially, the component of the law enforcement agencies has been a great challenge. Because for every basic society to achieve peace and then enforce law and order in order to protect rights and responsibilities is a very important component. But we have been faced with the challenge of the police. And when we look at the security arrangement, we have not given due regard to the aspect of the component of the law enforcement agencies, which is a bigger challenge. Instead, our focus is on the military part of it. My question that I would like to draw to this is that what is the Ministry of Interior doing as far as this is concerned? Because we are already in the festive season, and especially in the areas around the city, there is expectancy of a lot of criminal activities. And throughout, we have been so much reliant on joint operations, which involves all the components of the organized forces. Yet, the Ministry of Interior, I thought, could do enough in relation to do with this in their planning, so that we see that we have enough police, and we see that we have also some of the law enforcement agencies put in place. So we would like to have more clarification on the plan that has been put in place, whether we as a nation will consider that that component is very important, and we have to single it out and be able to graduate the police as the military component of it awaits. The other challenge is the challenge of the coordination that we have had, especially the traffic component, the traffic police. Until now, the traffic police is supposed to be one of the directorates under the Commission of Police at the states. But in Central Equatoria is a little bit different, because the same directorate has a directorate at that level of the national that works at the state, and the challenges are faced by the states, and then we in the state are unable, especially from my ministry as a minister of local government and law enforcement, we are unable to account on the activities of the traffic police officers. Can we get some clarification also on the same? Thank you.
Thank you. His Excellency, the first Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, Dr. Major Thames, and the whole protocol is observed. I'm Simon Osgo, the Minister of Local Government and Law Enforcement in Jonglei State. In initial facts, the Minister of Interior, he will be beaten by everybody from us as the Ministers for Local Government and Law Enforcement, because he's the crucial institutions in our governments, which is linked up with us. Mine will be, the rest has been exhausted. Mine, I have a very special request from you, the Minister. By then, when our government was being put into 32 states, there are some areas that have been annexed, like the county, which is the PG County. By then, it was been annexed to Malakal. And then today, when we come to the 10 states, our peoples and our law enforcement, unified police, they are still in Malakal up to today. That is give us a better narrow how we can govern and we can work with the criminals who are now facing our state in Juba State. Can I have that before you will be in your ministry before the end of December? We need these people to come to us, to our states. Secondly, the whole people, the law enforcement, the whole unified police, they are here in Juba, in central Equatoria. They are lodgings here, and they only receive money, and they only go to serve the people who have been given a mandate to them. I believe you may talk to the IGP and let these people to come to us, because we have to stream up and work hard to reach our 9 counties in Jonglei State. Thank you.
Now, I want to interrupt you. We still have 2 presentations. Write your questions down. The answers to the questions would be done last. So that we gain time. Let's see your presentation from the last 2 presentations. Then we ask questions. But please write it down, make it short.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Dr. Julia.
Okay. I think you save us from that long. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I think let us go to the next presentation by Honorable Dr. Mengfield, Governor of Unity State.
Your Excellency, Victoria Machate Dugon, First Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, His Excellency Hassan Abdel Baghi Ayi, Isen Abdel Baghi Ayi, Vice President in charge of Services Cluster. His Excellency General Taban Dendai, Vice President in charge of Infrastructure. Honorable Chief Justice, Right Honorable Speaker of Revitalized Transitional National Legislative Assembly, Right Honorable Speaker of Council of the State, Honorable Presidential Advisor, National Ministers, Members of Parliament, State Governors, Chief Administrators of Administrative Area, the 3, Deputy Governors, Deputy Chief Administrators, representative of the Diplomatic Corps, delegate from the state, especially the Minister of Local Government, Minister of Finance, Peace Ministers or Security Advisors, and our Secretary General. Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Tor Chungwar Kwegwong, representing my governor, who happened to be in the state. And I want to make this very clear, as it was said by the special representative of the Secretary General, that we are indeed flooded. We happen to be one of the states who did not do or who did not conduct the governors forum in our state simply because we are flooded, and governor happened to remain in the state because the water level get increasing. I thought I was to make my presentation in PowerPoint, but I'll have to use my hard copy because the secretariat are not ready. First of all, actually we were given the format, and I will start at least to say a short profile about our state. Unity State is one of the 10 states of the Republic of South Sudan with 7 counties, and namely with Koch, Lair, Mayandit, Mayom, Panyijar, and Rukona County. Those are the 7 counties of our state. Our state has an area of 30,000 square kilometers. And estimated as per the UN, population is 1.5 million. That is the population of the Republic of the Sudan. Our state has a very fertile land for agriculture, and I think this is important also for us to mention. The capital of our state is Bentiu. That is, this is like Juba, which is the host of this conference, which happened also to be the capital of Central Equatorial State. Our state is one of the oil producers, the quality of oil, with 2 major operating companies. That is ESPOC, operating in Tarjas, as was explained by His Excellency the Vice President of Ban, and GPOC in Unity Oil Fields. That is our short profile. We have more, but I think those are enough for the audience to know. State vision, mission, and core value. We are a united, peaceful, and prosperous state based on social equality, distribution of resources, and human rights, and rule of law. Our mission, we are ensuring good governance, deepening peace building, preventing conflicts, and improving security and reducing poverty through a process of rapid social and economic development. Our few core values as a state: we believe in the unity and harmonious coexistence, embrace democracy and transparency, respect of rule of law and human rights, equitable delivery of basic services to our people, sustainable peace and development, promote participatory planning, our key priorities as a state. And I think they will be a little bit different from the major strategic plan of the government of South Sudan. Our number one priority as a state is flood mitigation and resilience. As you all know, the whole of Upper Nile is a lowland, and we are along the Nile Valley. The entire state is submerged, and at least they have neighbors who are so kind. So over 90 of our population are flooded. So our priority as a state is to control flood from engulfing our main town, the capital, because it has taken the counties. So our work is to prevent more displacement. Remember the conflict, the 2013 crisis has created many IDPs in our state, which many of you are aware. They live in the UN camp and now transit to the government as IDP camp. And we thought if this flood has not come, our plan was initially to work for resettling those IDPs living in the IDP camp. But since the flood has affected now almost our state become an IDP camps. The second priority is peace and security. Once there is peace, once there is a conducive environment created by the government in terms of peace, we believe they can voluntarily return to the state. Our priority number 3 as a state is agriculture. Introduction of a modern agriculture would be able to produce on their own, adequate food for themselves. And that is why we are. But even the flood now, this has become another challenge. But it remains our priority. The other priority is roads, which is also affected because we don't know when can we have the road. Because that flood we have is the only flood that will never let our people to return home. Because we have constructed dike taller than me, yet the water keep building up. It sometimes reach the dike. Important priority because when we talk of improving security, you can never improve security without road network. And again, why do we prioritized road network. The insecurity that is being caused by our harm youth is only the engagement. They have nothing, especially with our neighboring state. Warab and Lagos State. So a road would be important if we can have a road along that border to improve security. Then we have the fourth priority, which is health, to provide access to health, a clean drinking water delivery at all levels. Fifth, education, to provide access and improving quality education and build institutional and human capacity in the education sector. Sixth, empower of women and the youth. So that is some of the few key priorities as a state government. State achievement. I thought if that PowerPoint can work, because there are some supportive pictures to support our achievement as a state. State achievement as per the theme. The theme is very clear. We are talking about implementation rather than other achievements. Unity state since the signing of the cessation of hostility and the ceasefire on the 12th of September 2018, there has been no single violation. That means we are committed to the implementation of the Revitalized Peace Agreement. And we believe that is jointly. All the parties to the agreement were involved in the dissemination of the peace agreement. And this could only be seen by you if it is played or projected or displayed on the screen. That is an achievement. We have also managed to form what we call joint security. Hey, we form a little joint force which we managed to deploy to protect our IDPs, even our important in isolation. And we did that. Our forces are moving freely. We believe that is an achievement, and we did. We call it a gentleman agreement. And we did that to wait for our unified force once the graduation is done and the deployment is done, we will regard them as, they should go back to about 168,000 people living in the IDP camps were able to go back to their home with the support of the letter of His Excellency the President, who clearly stated that you evacuate that house for the rightful owners. At least we achieved that. As well as the free movement of our people, even our forces. Before you find that our forces are, you go to town, you buy what you want, then you go back to cantonment. Unity State, in partnership with our developmental partners like UNHCR, managed to repatriate or transport IDPs living in Juba in this IDP camp next to the Jabal. We have achieved Thank you very much. At least I'm ahead. So, in partnership with our partners like UNHCR, we managed to transport some of the IDPs because we have people in two IDP camps. We have the Jebel camp and we have camp. So that process is one. That is an achievement. Partnership with our partners have conducted a series of peace conferences and dialogue. Challenges. One, flood and displacement of population. Insecurity. If we talk of insecurity, the parties to the conflicts have silenced their guns. However, we are challenged with insecurity caused by the youth through insecurity matters. Because of time, I was to explain a history between us with Honorable Ringfai, a youth from our state, from Panija, went and raided cattle and brought a very beautiful bull, called as Marial, Marial. I don't know how beautiful. I was chatting with the Honorable Governor. So when a businessman from Rumbek came to the new land and exchanged that bull with 25 cows. By the time he took that bull, the man from Lagos State, then the rightful owner discovered the bull. Then it was a big case, and I think it is still there. And I was online with the deputy governor. But because we are committed to peace, he is handling. Honorable Governor has been handling this case. Look how difficult it is. This is the insecurity we are talking about. So we have lack of road connectivities, isolated cases of cattle theft, diseases outbreak. Now, given the flood, our cows, our livestock are dying as people of Unity State. Goat, dogs, every livestock because of I think the waterborne related diseases of animals. Environmental pollution caused by the oil production and employment of our youth, especially in the oil sector. Now, we have the two major oil companies, but we are not benefiting. We said, people say that is too much politics. It is a reality. Delay, the challenges, delay of graduation of necessary unified force remain our challenge. Road connectivities from Bentiu town to oil field. Because of flood, that road is cut off. Number 6, way forwards. Construction and maintenance of our roads, construction of bigger dikes in counties and state headquarters, improve social services delivery, urgent graduation, and deployment of unified force. As a state government, we appeal to the national government, at least to speed up the graduation, because it is not our task, it is the task of the national government. Disarmament of civilian population as immediate need to promote peace and security. Promote sustainable development by strengthening the support to local trade and agriculture and production system. Educate the population on key issues as gender-based violence, abduction, and child marriages. Ensure proper and shared management of water, basin, and grazing land. We have an issue of grazing land with our neighbors, the Arabs, pastoralists. Like now, but given the flood, we don't know if they will come because they have plenty of water, plenty of grazing. So I have one paper missing. Yes, which is number 7. The plan to implement, actually the state plan in implementation of the agreement. we believe as a government that dissemination of the revitalized peace to the grassroots would actually make our people to understand so our plan as a state, we believe we will continue with dissemination, even in our different languages, but at least the 7 counties are people with one language. So state plan to implement the ACES. So we say the immediate disarmament of civilian population. Number 2, continuous dissemination of the revitalized in 7 counties and the state and in the state headquarters. 3, flood mitigation through construction of 80 square kilometers with 3 meters high and 6 meters wider. That means our plan is to build one road that will surround the state, and we use it as a road so that it remain compact and stronger. 4, the settlement of IDPs and returnees back to their homes. 5, maintain laws and order, maintain law and orders in the state. 7, mobilize more equipment, because now we are flooded. We said we should, as a state government, we should be able to mobilize excavators, dozers, graders, rollers to rehabilitate and construct road. 8, appeal to the national government to speed up the graduation and deployment of the necessary unified forces. 9, immediate opening of the road between Bentiu and Unity Oil Field. I remember that is the state whose oil is put for development, and we are cut off. And I think His Excellency, the first Vice President, should take our appeal. Plan to conduct peace conferences between our neighboring state and administrative areas, namely Lake State, Warab State, Ruang, and Abyei, to promote peaceful coexistence and stop cattle raiding. Our issues with Lake and Warab are issues related to cattle thefts or cattle raiding. The youth come and raid from us. Our youth go. Recently, I think 5 days ago, youth from Apok actually raided cows from Mayom, over 200 head of cattle. So we believe through conferences we'll be able to address those issues. So I think those are some of the few things we have jotted as a unity state government with my team. If Your Excellency, you can allow me also to just tell to request those ministers who accompany me to just weave the house. Nasbentiu, you stand up. You stand and yes. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. I think the Deputy Governor has talked a lot, but I pick up one thing, which is really always on my heart. I think the cattle raiding. And I'm going to be, so please, we have to find solution so that our cattle also, we can benefit from them. Without ado, you know now I'm going to be an activist to protect those cattle. Now we go to our next speaker, the Speaker of Jonglei State, Honorable Denai Chago. I know everybody, afternoon is always make people sleep. I think you are all alert. If no, we should stand up and stretch out.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes, then let us go for that one. All of us stand up. Stand up, stand up.
I'm standing up.
They are not standing up for you. They are tired. Now, all I want you to do, I want to tell a story. My uncle's from Quebec. When God created human beings, He gave them all the type of dances. They actually came, they got a good dance. The Murle came, they came with a good dance. The Euro from Wa came, they came with a good dance. The Jubel, they go with a good dance. And then God went back to heaven. All other people got their good dance. Then my uncles, they came late. And they found everybody happy and dancing. Then people dispersed. They said, what happens? They said, God has given out all our dancers, they have gone back. And now what do we do? Where is God? They said it is in heaven. And then they said, now we have to go and reach God in heaven. Oh, let us go get God in heaven. Yalla, 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 yalla. You rebel? You rebel? You rebel? Actually, no, no.
I understand that the presentation for people who are behind there is hard for you to see this small screen, which I think the people who arranged it have not actually have done justice to people who are sitting behind there. So the counties of Jonglei states are named as Woror, Akobo, Bor, Tweed East, Duke, Ayut, Pandak, Nurol, and Fiji. And before, people administrative area used to be one of us, which we still, they are still one of us. But because of administration, they are not with us now. So these are the counties that are combined in Jonglei State. And then among these counties, we've been living with one another for so many years. And in Jonglei State, we are not producing oil, but we consider ourselves that we are the richest state. Because we are mainly depending on livestock, cattle. So when people talk about cattle ratings, sometimes people will think about, I'm happy to hear that some states now are talking about cattle ratings, because they become a habit in all our states. Ladies and gentlemen, to walk you through our presentation in Jonglei States, since the formation of government, our state has been struggling with almost abolish infrastructure. Our infrastructure has been destroyed by the war in 2013, and the little remaining left has been destroyed by flood that hit our state last year. So much of this destruction, national disaster, started with only last year. And this year, it is going on and reach some of the states. So this year, we seem to be a little better than some of the states, but we are still hit by flood. As we speak today, some of our counties, majority of our counties are still under the water. And these counties are Trick East, Ayut, Pangak, Duk, and Akobo. Even Bor is the headquarters. Of our government is still being threatened. But it's not as bad as last year because we have put some dike, and thanks to infrastructure cluster, they really helped us a lot. Those difficult days, even though we are still in those difficult days. So Jonglei State being the biggest state in land, we are also being the biggest state in terms of population. We are very populated in all our counties, and our challenges, as we speak, is that road infrastructure is nearly zero in our states, where our counties are so big, and to move from one county to the other county, you rely on charter flight. Without charter flight, it is nearly impossible to reach any of our counties, except from here to Bor. And the road that we are hearing, the Juba, Bor highway that goes to Malakal, is just now reaching Bor. So for all of these times, we have been just struggling. But thanks also to the national government that put in place that there should be connectivity to all our states. So we are starting to benefit from this road. Jonglei State is struggling with intercommunal violence. And this intercommunal violence has been rocking our state for so many years and for so long. And as we speak, the dissemination of the peace agreement is still on the way. We decided to have our own peace agreement among ourselves, among our counties and Payam. And that initiative has been led by our Minister of Peace Building of our state. And that has been going on really well. We've been conducting peace meetings, peace conference. Chiefs will be traveling there to conduct peace agreement. Those peace agreements have been happening all around Jonglei. The last one was just done in Bor, where it was witnessed by myself and an honorable chief administrative area of people. And prior to that, we also did that in, they are better off side by side. Our people have understood that for so long we've been deceived, and for far too long that we've been ignored. And as we speak, our people are ready to take the matter in their own hands, to understand that government cannot solve everything. The citizen can solve some of the problem. Then the government can just push them on and guide them on. And that's what our people are doing up to today. As I stand here, a few days ago, we had some communal violence in our states, which all of us have heard about it, which took a different dimension that we have never seen before for very long, where criminal came from people or administrative area. And going through all of this peace conference, death has never left our state. In every county that I just mentioned, all of the 9 counties, people are being killed in big number by illegal criminals. Come and kill 2 people here, 3 people there, 4 people there. This has been going on for so long. And our people are fading up with this. But what we do understand, though, we cannot blame our neighbor from people or administrative area. We cannot blame the government there. Because this youth also don't listen to the government. Don't listen to the administration there. So it goes the same way all across our wonderful country, where youth always take law to their own hands. As we speak now, we all rely on making sure that we have good elders in every community, so that those elders can try their level best to make sure that they can influence the youth, to make sure that they will not continue this, so that the country move toward development and get away from war. Our health infrastructure is still very low. And Your Excellency, when I came back, I feel very disappointed when I see this site all empty, where the national ministers, some of them are gone. In my opinion, I think this is a government forum, but this is a government forum with the national government official. Because in order for us to know exactly what to do, we need to know, in order for us to know what to do in the states, we need to know who is communicating with us. It's somebody who put the state at his heart. Not somebody who is just trying to fool us or trying to tell us that what we do doesn't really matter. So that's why when I got here in the morning, the room was full. I said that this is thanks to God, so that we can have honest discussion among ourselves, so that you know what I'm doing in my state, and I know what you're doing in our national government. Because there's no national government without states. All of us here in this hall, and unless you're a foreigner, you're the person who can say that you don't come from any of the states. But unfortunately, we went for lunch. Now the room is almost empty on this side. If it is just us among ourselves, most of our presentation, Your Excellency, you will hear us, they're very similar. They're very similar in so many ways, that an open dialogues with people that we sometimes think on the state that they are standing on the way, so that we know if the state is treated unfairly in some areas, we know who's doing what and who should be doing what. But unfortunately, maybe tomorrow, maybe we will have some of the national ministers here, and the national commissioners. They should be here in the room, because this is a wonderful dialogue that the country can have. In fact, this is South Sudan, where you have all of the 10 states, plus 3 administrative area, even people from the national government. You can just see where you can fit in if we're all trying to fit in this area. If you're from Central Equatoria, you know where you're supposed to sit, Eastern Equatoria, Warab, Lake State. Every one of us will know where we need to sit. So I think this is the wonderful dialogue that we're all supposed to have. To Your Excellency, in Jonglei State being the biggest and being in terms of land, health infrastructure become very poor in our state. And it didn't just happen, it has been, and it still is, where if we are relying on flight that we cannot afford, imagine somebody sick. We have counties that somebody have to be carried for at least 3 days, 4 days, just to see a doctor across another county, just to see a doctor there. This is how Jonglei has been, and this is how Jonglei still is. And so earlier I was saying we need to know where those funds goes. If there are health funds that goes to the Ministry of Health in the states, and they don't go where they're supposed to be, I think it might be some states, not all, because there are some who are just desperately waiting. And in our state, we are. Your Excellency, in terms of roads, our citizens, they ask for one thing, they ask for roads all the time. And that if we do have roads, even some of the work that we think that government should do, we can still take those roads on ourselves. It seems that infrastructure is painfully coming. The leadership of the infrastructure cluster, we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And that is so promising. The core value of our leadership in the states and our core coexistence, we encourage our diversity. In Jonglei, we are mainly Dinka, Nuer, and Anyok. These are the three tribes who are in Jonglei. Before Murli were there, now they are from the People Administrative Area. When we form our government, His Excellency Vice President James Waniga said earlier that we need to form clusters. Well, we did form clusters on day one when we form our state government. Now we have government cluster, economic cluster, infrastructure cluster, service cluster. And they're all functioning. So, in terms of that, we're doing well. We have also a flood management committee that we put together that can follow on track how the flood goes of our citizens. We are evacuating our citizens. From Ayut, people will be in strand. We have rented boats. This operation has been going on for the last 3 weeks, or will be there even more. Our people from Pandak area, some of them are in up now. Some of them now are going to be going to Ruin administrative area. And we are very thankful to the Apnal government and Ruin administrative area. We're working at Sun and Daughter from Jonglei states. And as I stand here, as the governor of the state, I come from party Sow. Since I went to the state, I never had one party meeting of Sow, not even one, since I went to the state. Because I feel that we are better off with one another. That when we sit together, brother and sister, son and daughter, from Jonglei, we will come up with very wonderful ideas. But the moment that we dwell into partisan politics, that state will be turned off. Because either one of us would never let go your ego or your pride. Never. We have some of our people never again. It will not happen. If you want to conduct your rally outside of our government, even myself, I'll come and help you. I'll be part of it. But not when we are putting the life of our people at hands. When we are sitting in government offices to deliver service, to deliver protection, security to our people, We should not be dwelling on partisan politics. Because that partisan politics is only for some, not for all. The only thing that's for all is when we do it for every citizen, even for people who reside with us who are not from our state. Your Excellency, our people have been very courageous. They encourage peace, and they ask nothing but peace every single day. They struggle so much, even us now, some of us have even forgot that we just got out of war that devastated our states. Some of our citizens now are worried has been our relationship with people in the administrative area. That's the only number one worry about citizens. Other than that, we feel that we are way ahead than the entire country in terms of implementing the peace agreement. We are way ahead, but we're being hold on by intercommunal violence between people in the administrative area and Jonglei State. So, Your Excellency, our key priorities are to make sure that we renovate our destroyed infrastructure. All our government offices up to today, they're destroyed, they're still under the water. This is actually more. If you go to the counties, all of these counties that I just mentioned, the counties headquarters are all been wiped out. One of the counties, you cannot go anywhere unless you use the speedboat or use a canoe. This is how our people are. So our biggest key priority is to make sure that we renovate our offices. We make sure that whatever little infrastructure that we can put in place, we would be happy to do that. And the other thing is peaceful disarmament. And this is something that every state is struggling with. And it is a question that I think the national government, the states need to sit together and find out how we can go about it. Because if we go on the wrong foot, it will have very bad consequences. But if we do it in the right way, that it put all the interests of our citizens, that put the security of our people first, then we will succeed in it. In our states, our people are ready. They want disarmament. But one question comes, that if the earlier we sit and talk about the disarmament, the better this peace can hold, the better that peace will thrive in South Sudan. As we speak, our next priority is to make sure that we address the issue of land, because all of us know land has been always a dispute in South Sudan. Even here in Central Equatoria, I'm sure that's what many of us are struggling with. So we are addressing it in a way that we make sure that we prioritize our city, we prioritize how our state will be 10 years to come, 10, 20 years from now, how we want our state to be, how do we see our states in terms of sanitation, how we want our city to be. So we're putting all of this consideration in place. Our population, Your Excellency, are calling on the central government to make sure that we have one line of communication. This is something that I know some of the states are struggling with, because there has been mixed messages from the central government to the state, and that jeopardizes the security that we're trying to put in place. I will give you one example. Whenever an intercommunal incident happened in the states, all we get are people calling from the central government, people from the states sending the information from the state to the central government, and the central government sending messages from there. That always makes the situation very complicated. And to make the matter worse, it always immediately, within a second, it tribalizes the incident, which shouldn't happen. Because all of us understand that you can solve the problem, but it's hard to solve the tribal problems. When situation becomes tribal, it's very hard to deal with. But when an administration is allowed, when the government is allowed, from the central government to the local government, then solutions are always there, always surface. So actually, we are painfully struggling with that. We are actually in Jonglei State is calling for connectivity. Among all the states that we are bordering, our road connectivity, it is zero. But recently, the last year, we've been getting good encouragement from people that and the Ethiopian government offer to work with us through that. Our citizens feel that if that happens, that would be a really quick solution to most of our problems in Jonglei State. And so if the central government could consider that, that would be really good help. His Excellency Vice President General Tabanding, I said earlier that in order for South Sudan to have good infrastructure, but to me, I think that if we wait in order for us to talk about loan later, we will be in a different situation. Which I think that also the central government will sit and talk about it and discuss it, I think. Your export to Juba is reduced to 2 hours and some minutes. That has the support from the central government. In Bortown last year, at this time, we were using canoe. But as we speak now, we are driving cars from Juba all the way to Bortown. That had been a very good progress. We've been advocating for it. We are still doing it, and we feel that it should continue. Not only Jonglei alone, but to all the 10 states that the National Minister of Road through the infrastructure will consider that. Your Excellency, I personally believe that a peaceful and a better country always come with a peaceful and better states. Without peaceful and better states, I don't think peace will thrive in the nation capital. Your Excellency, we have been very disappointed. In the states, we've been very disappointed. And myself personally, when I look at how our country can move forward. As we speak now, whenever national disaster strike or insecurity happens, it has been very difficult. 3 days ago, we had incident in Bortown. And when we call in the national security, the army, the police, give us the briefing, sometimes people would come in and say that the car that the ordinary force has does not have fuel, or it has broke down, and it needs to be repaired, or even the tank. Need fuel from the states. We look at that, the state does not have that adequate funding that we can put in for immediate security. The only state has been helping us. They've been working tirelessly in all the counties to build dike. And thanks to the UNDP, IOM, World Food Program, and all the rest of the UN organizations, they've been there to make sure that diet that is put in place, and they're supporting the youth as we speak. Your Excellency, the Young State is still trying to make sure that South Sudan will not fail on our side, and that this agreement will be implemented, and that the implementation will not be instructed on our side. And with that, I thank you so much. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thank you.
I think there's a lot of reputation from all the states, as it been said by the governor. One of the things that strike us is the communal violence in our states. And I think that is uniform, infrastructure uniform. The other thing, which is working together as a team, I think that is a good message for many states if that do happen. That's good. I just want to remind you before I turn to the Vice President, tomorrow presentation, we now do have a PowerPoint machine that we could use. So if you have your presentation, please hand it over to the rapporteurs. It will be Jemek, if you have the presentation. Minister Michael McQuillan, Minister Honorable Josephine Lagu, Dr. Martin Elia, Minister Cabinet Affairs. If presentation are there, can hand over to the rapporteur. And then we have the Chief Justice in the morning hours. Peace, Minister Parkol, and then Aya Wadide, Minister of Gender, and the Warab Governor Aleu. No, this is IGAD. Aleu Garang, if you have those presentations, please hand them over to the rapporteur for tomorrow. So we start in the evening, in the morning. Then over to you.
You say Chief Justice, I think it is Minister of Justice.
Oh, Minister of Justice. Okay. Okay, Minister of Justice.
Yeah.
Okay, if anybody is here, please pass the message on. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Julia. We had asked you to write your questions if you have. I have only one on Minister of Local Government, Western Bahar Ghazal State. Is there any other question? Or do I give the floor to the ministers who presented to answer the questions you raised? So let me give the chance to the Minister of Defense first.
Yes.
Then comes the Minister of Interior, and who again? I think yes, the Minister of Health.
Yes.
If there's a question on COVID-19, we have noticed that the two presentations from the states did not address COVID-19, how they were dealing with it, or they have seen it is only a matter for Juba. So, okay.
It's a question to do with time frame for the implementation,
graduation of the unified forces. We've been putting time frames because you know these forces have been in the training center for the last 2 years. We assembled them in training centers in December of 2019. Now it's 2021, so it's exactly 2 years now. We've been putting time frames, but we've been failing to graduate the forces. Like I said earlier, the mechanisms, the JDB, ATSC, they have actually developed their strategy for even the deployment of the forces. Recently, there was a meeting of the presidency, and in this meeting of the presidency, the JDB was requested that they composed teams, and these teams were supposed to go to the training center to reorganize and organize the forces in formation, the normal formation that we know, whether it's police or the army, and so on and so forth. They were supposed to have left. They were given 4 weeks to complete the work. Now 4 weeks has elapsed. They were not given the necessary resources. The teams that are near, like the national security team, they went to Burmakur, and I think they have completed their work without the resources that were supposed to be given to them. But it is very difficult for these committees to actually go and do their work. So that's why I cannot give you a time frame. It's dependent upon two things. One is the unification of the command, and then now they become the unified force, whether it's police or all the organized forces. So, and that one is only the first vice president who can answer, because it's with the principal. It has left us, the technical committee. I just want to give a bit of a support to my colleague, the Minister of Interior. The states are asking vehicles, support, and so on from the Ministry of Interior. Actually, there is a state police. And the state police is the one that deals with apprehending criminals, riots, and so on and so forth, as far as our law is concerned. Now, the forces that we have in training center and the national aspects of the police that deals in the states are usually the customs, immigration, passports, and on and so forth. So I'm not sure whether that is implemented or not, because our law talks of two levels of police: state police and national police. So yeah, no state police. Is this new? Because when this is news to me. You see, when we were looking at NCAC, clearly states, even in our constitution, that there is a state police and there is a national police, unless it is ignored and not implemented. And now the new law is even more explicit. It has gone to the also the local police, not only state police. So now you have 3 levels. So I think it's something that we need to look at, and especially when you're working now with your constitution to amend them to be in compliance. And I also suggest that the NCAC
I mean, not the NCAC. Now we have actually passed the laws out of the National Council of Ministers that are supposed to go to the state. But it would be good to look at those drafts because we already passed them, and you would see what's in them. So basically, you have to prepare yourself for the state police. And some of the things that you are asking are really supposed to be state competent. And not the national competence. Thank you.
Can you?
The linkages, because like now currently we have a state bureau, which is the CID. This is national, and this is in the law. Now the linkage is that when you find the state police, there are the state police, they will report. They will report. They're only giving reports unless the crime is to do with something like they become security reports that are given to the national police and the Ministry of Interior for the purposes of having a comprehensive situation or security situation and law and order enforcement situation in the country, and so on. So, and then the linkages, now when you have the other units, the units, for example, the migration and passports, they would have a representation in the state. They may report to the state commission or police, but in fact, the direct reporting is to the national, because these are national competence. And the first vice president earlier said that it's best we talk about these issues of competencies and devolution of power and resources. This is when they will become more clear. But the law is very clear about that. When we were amending it, it was there very, very, very clear. And the youth, the national service is an issue that is actually unresolved. Even when we were working on the policy and we consulted with a lot of people, and people are divided. So what we did, because we could not get a consensus, something to pull the relevant stakeholders, and from the strategic level to the low level, the grassroots, even refugees, even people in IDP camps, we talked to them, and we collected the views. So we could not, Your Excellency, we could not actually have a consensus on that. So we're just taking it to the principal to have a decision on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Minister of Interior. Briefed.
Coordination.
Okay. Well,
Coordination and linkages between the police, traffic police.
Before the minister speaks, today he should have had an interview so that he would know details of the departments in the ministry. Like the question you asked about traffic, should it be state? Should it be county? Should it be national? But let him, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Excellency. I will start first with Shamal Barghazal, Wazir Hukman Mahalli. Suala kan begusus transport. Yeah, in fact, it is not enough to get you only car for police. If the budget is there, and we bought the cars, send them to you. Without maintenance, after 2 months, you will come to us looking for another car. You know, without good driving, a driver, after 3-4 months, the car will overturn and you will come to us looking for another car. So this issue of logistics for police, it started with uniform, and then transport, their upkeep, so that they look at police. And the other component of the logistics are not there. That means we are not doing anything. So your question is good. We'll put it into our consideration, and we'll see our budget. I don't know the former minister whether they have done something about transport and uniform for the police. If it's not there, then we'll see how to. For police, if that force is graduated and they came and took over, then automatically everything will change. The issue of traffic, yes, traffic is a department within police. I've yet to reach them. So forgive me for not answering you now, but these my colleague from Jongle, your question is rather administrative. Why don't you come to our office and then to our ministry and then we come and sit and address it? Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think the last question is to the Minister of Health. The issue of oxygen tanks in the hospitals in the States.
Thank you, Your Excellency. One question from the Minister about the oxygen plant, and also from the speech of the governor of Jonglei State. He also threw back the statement around the transfers to the states, saying if there are transfers to the states, but to begin with the oxygen plant, we are happy and proud that South Sudan Minister of Health, for the first time in our history, has managed to establish an oxygen plant in Nairobi. But this year, with the support of our partners, we were able to establish an oxygen plant that is available in Juba, that is supplying the facilities in Juba, and we also have plans, and we have secured additional oxygen plants, 4 other oxygen plants. 2 of them are already in the country. We are expecting 2 more to arrive with the support of our partners, and definitely we are going to have oxygen plant in some selected states, given the logistic consideration. It is always impossible to think that we can transport oxygen from here to Wow, for example. When we know that Greater Baragazal, Unity, and Upper Nile are mostly cut off from Juba every year for around 6 to 7 months. And the only means of transport becomes the air transport. As that weighs, a lot of kilograms. You will not be able to transport the oxygen plant, and you will think that you can efficiently run it. That is the debate which we have had with our partners. To some extent, we convinced them, especially when Uganda recently had a 3rd wave, and they ran out of oxygen and oxygen cylinders, and they stopped exporting, so we could not get it. That is why the partners finally managed to support us getting this oxygen plant. Allow me, Your Excellency, to mention something very important. In the health sector, we are very much depending on the donor funding. 90% of our operations and services are supported by the donors. We don't buy from our national budget, even a Panadol. What has happened in our several engagements, the Minister of Finance and the Parliament, we found ourselves always being pushed back that donors are funding you, that you are well funded. I want to say, Your Excellency, what we are doing is just begging. Honestly speaking, it's only that at times we are hypocrites and we are having a mindset we don't admit the reality. Because a lot of humiliation we go through when we are negotiating with these partners touches on our dignity. It's only that when someone on the street now or near the restaurants goes with the kabera, with the bag, begging, we look down at them. We call them beggars. But when someone like us sits in the office in the ministry, given a table with a laptop and an AC, with the title written program manager or a director general, we think that we are somebody. But honestly speaking, we are beggars. Only the concept. Honestly, the concept is the same. We only use different means. That guy on the street is using a bag. Myself in the office, I'm using a laptop. That's the only difference. But honestly speaking, we are begging. So it is important for us to ensure that we put money into the health sector. This brings me to the health transfers. The health transfers, Your Excellency, are for all the states. I have the experience of monitoring and managed to go to some of the states. We have something called the State Transfer Monitoring Committee, chaired by the Minister of Finance. My colleagues from the Minister of Finance might be here, they can attest to that. When we go to follow the transfers, it becomes a nightmare. We don't even trace, we don't even know where the money is. Your Excellency, the Governor, the transfers leave the Minister of Finance. They don't come to us, we don't even see them. They go to the State Minister of Finance, not the State Minister of Health. And I repeat, when we had serious discussions some years back, the Minister of Finance and the state came and told us, look, we are using a decentralized system of governance in this country. There is no way the money can go directly. Our plan was to send the money directly to the service delivery units. Those include state hospitals, county hospitals, PHCCs, county health departments, and health science institutes that are in a number of states. There are a few states that were doing well, but there are a few states, and I remember some few governors' forums that were held previously. We came and found that the priorities in some of the states did not include health. The priority was security. And therefore, whatever transfer that left, us did not. I'm available at the Minister of Health, Your Excellency. Currently, I'm overseeing the director responsible for budget and planning, and we monitor the transfers. The Minister of Finance will be ready to provide evidence of transfers. We are made to believe before salaries are released, the first thing they have been doing is to transfer the transfers to the states. In terms of PHCCs, county health departments, and the state hospitals and health science institutes, as I mentioned. So honestly speaking, what we have realized as a lesson learned, when transfers go from here to the states, Minister of Finance, they hardly know what is this amount during the monitoring visits. And I gave example of those states whereby the Minister of Finance finally said, well, we received transfers, but we thought this was our money. We were not told that this money was going to the counties, health departments, and the money was going, for example, to the health science institutes. And that are supposed to be transferred, to be chaired by the State Ministry of Finance. The Minister of Health, Minister of Local Government, Minister of Education are members. All the ministries that benefit, and Minister of Local Government. Those ministries that benefit from the transfers are members of that committee. Unfortunately, in most of the states, that committee is not functional, has never been established, has never kicked off. I believe we were made to understand earlier, this governance forum is meant for a transparent and open dialogue. I'm sorry if I might have stressed on something. I'm a civil servant. I only know the facts, and I will state them as they are. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I think the question of transfer has been sufficiently answered. Well, when the Minister of Finance comes, when the Minister of Finance comes, he will, if necessary, he will also state it. But hopefully, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, government, some of you had mentioned that the ministers who were in full attendance in the morning have left. We will devise a system, like you have noticed that the ministers that are presenting are here. We'll also ask them tomorrow, when we are recapping in the morning hours, because the first function we do is recap what has been said and what has been captured by the Secretariat, so that we don't misquote them in the resolutions. They have to be present. And the ministers who are coming to put them in writing so that the minister can collect them, and when they answer, they will arrest them. So that is for you to tomorrow to adopt. As I said, I noticed that in the two presentations, there was no mention of COVID-19, which means you have no rapid response teams in your places. But the population is with you. Yes, hold on. It would be good to listen to some of you, because we know that some people have died because of COVID-19. Not all of them. Died in Juba. They also died. COVID-19 was transmitted to you from smaller that committee. I want to correct titles. You tend to refer to the vice presidents as if they are vice presidents for clusters. They are vice presidents of the Republic. They share a cluster. There is no vice president for governance cluster. There is no vice president for economic cluster. This is wrong. You know, they're just shares of the clusters. So but they can do other works. You are trying to confine them to clusters. As a vice president of the Republic, they would be given other assignments to do at any time. Meanwhile, sharing a cluster. So that title has to be corrected. I noticed it in the official document of our program. Dr. Mariel, wants to say something before I close. Yes.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. First Vice President. We listened very carefully to what our Director General of Health has said about the transfer, which was excellent. And to the point. But what I would like to say is to compare our coordination with the partners. You see, in this country and anywhere in the developing world, you'll get WHO explain what area he needs help in. The government is not begging. Our dignity is still there. So what he's doing is to make aware our development partners what we need they can do for us. That is not begging. I would like that withdrawn completely. We have a dignity and we know we accepted them. They are here as organizations helping us. You cannot compare. Yourself a sitting responsible official with somebody begging in the streets. And in the streets throughout the world, you get people begging. It's not the Republic of South Sudan alone. So
actually the budget of the Ministry of Health has been increased from 2% to 10%, isn't it? Am I right? I'm asking the Minister of Health. The budget of the Ministry of Health has been increased from what it was to 10%, or is it 15%? 10, figure of 10. Because with peace, priorities are changing. Rather than spending more on security sector, we spend on service sector, service delivery sector. So that's why this year there is increment of the budget. So there is, but years before, the security sector was the one consuming most of the budget. Am I being corrected? What's the correction? I deal with Mike. They say them.
Your Excellency, I felt this is very important, I have to say it, because in many official documents, it is said that the security sector is at least consume 45% of our national budget. Your Excellency, that is not true. My last budget as defense was 5.9% of the budget. It's only this year that it is increased to 9%, which is also less than the budget that is got for the education and health. So I don't know where that 45% come from, because it's important to, we never reached 15% of the whole envelope. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good correction. Then we will have to ask ourselves, which sector is receiving more? Obviously, I would love to see that it becomes roads, the infrastructure sector. That would unite the country very fast. So the debate on resources has started, but let me remind you of the statement I made. I said, focus also on power sharing and resource sharing, developing powers and resources to the state. You were told the coming law is devolved to you in the security sector, in the law enforcement, that there shall be state police and there shall be community police at the county level. The power must not go without the resource. Because if you are given power and you have no resources to do it, in the end you get blamed for failing to discharge. You know? In the decentralized system and in the federal system we're moving to, the state police will not be financed from the national coffers. The county police wouldn't be financed. There are conditional grants. These are the transfers the Ministry of Health was discussing with you. For you to implement projects that are actually which they should implement, but they delegate them to you. And then they give you conditional grants or special transfers. So when you say, no, there's no state police, the law coming, maybe in 3 weeks, you will have to think about it. Additional competencies. Even in our constitution before the move to federalism, in the constitution there the schedules A, B, C, D, E. They give you powers, competencies, the state competencies, the concurrent competencies with the national, the local government competencies. These must be accompanied with resources so that you make your own budget. And the addition to your budget will be the grant, the block grant, or the conditional. That is it. Okay, tomorrow, I asked the ministers who presented, because we'll discussion on the one state presentations, that would be recapping They will write us what they have. The secretariat will write down what they have captured. It will be read. Then, if there are corrections, the ministers will contribute to it. If we agree this is what we have done yesterday, then we close it. We let them go. And the ministers who will come, join us. Hopefully they join us immediately at the opening. So I thank you very much. For your attention. I know
bear with us, guys. The network in Juba is the one having issues.
And your peace agreement. Thank you very much. And also,
There you have it, guys. This is the end of the day for the session. So they resume.
Have a good evening and see you tomorrow morning. Thank you very much.
So it will resume tomorrow. So thank you, guys. If you guys want to say something, what do you think about this conference? Let me know if you want to come in. Something interesting me is that it's about the federal government. So we are moving. Dr. Yamcha, Vice President, saying that they are moving to federal government, which is most of the South Sudanese campaign. So it sound good, but and also too, it's good that we see the governors, they came together, the government officials came together, and they have this conference, and this is what they're supposed to be doing, so that they can talk about the challenges the states, the government, federal government, local government they are facing: insecurity, economy, flooding, tribalism, food security, COVID-19. All of this is good that they should come together and discuss it. Ambassador Solomon Dandra, thank you. Are you be able to join so you guys can weigh in before I close up the show? If you have something that you should contribute, or what do you think about the conference, governance and demonstration conference that they did today, Juba? This is day one. Tomorrow will be another session that they are doing, and the media will be covered too, bring you live. So and it's good. It's good. I'm glad. I'm happy that they're doing this. This is the good forward, moving up and discussing the challenging challenges that they are facing and discussing those, and they can solve them. So, okay, that's fine. That's fine, Salmon. That's okay. Maybe next time, maybe tomorrow. So that's good. So I think this is the good thing. And it's really good that our people, they're having step forward and try to solve. And the government, I know it is a long road to go. And Vice President Dr. Riek Machar is sharing that, and it's good that his team as a Vice President are acting. So it's really good. So I hope we, the citizen of South Sudan who are diaspora, should understand that the government is doing their best to bring sustainability in the country. And we hear it, we heard from them, they are doing what they're doing. So the only thing that they have to, the commitment they want to do, and make sure that they say what they do, what they say, and they say what they mean. So that's what that's what put that way. I think that's what I will commenting about this, and I thank you guys for watching. And I'm going to close up the show, and we will bring up, if there's another breaking news, we will come up on air and inform you what's going on. Tomorrow, it will be another. So they will bring the live to you, streaming live to you guys. So it's good. Yeah, Justin, you can watch it later. We covered it after the show. After this, you can watch the video, and then you can see the conference. It's about 2 hours long. So thank you. So I will close up here. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful morning. We'll stop. See you then. If we have another thing coming up, we will come back on there. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
It's your boy, I'm giving that thing. Control like stand Control like stand America. Banyi door, ban walk on your leg, Kankara, what I know watching. Oga level leg, gear, power, leg, Panda with ya, Panchid America. Panya, 12 and no, Chingatonga Pandon, could you ever buy a check out?